Welcome, and we're going to get started in our chair. Today we're going to do a few little bit of different things. We're going to actually work very deliberately and purposefully on our hands, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. In our chair dance class, we've been working on how to help our hands move a little bit more gracefully and fluidly. And so I've been doing a little bit more work around in yoga about how we can help to free up the joints of the hand and sort of help the muscles that run along the whole length of the arm to be more malleable and more movable and release tension from those spaces. So we're going to work a little bit on that today, but we're going to start in our chairs. So set your feet up flat on the floor. Make sure that you're able to sit up nice and tall here. If you need support on your back, that's absolutely okay. But if possible, maybe you'll sit a little bit away from the back of the chair, lifting the chest up and letting your hands rest into your lap. And just let your hands rest however they're comfortable in your lap to begin. Excuse me. Good. And then let's together take a deep breath in through the nose. And let a big sigh out the mouth. Good. On your next inhale, imagine your lungs here and really fill them up as you inhale. Imagine them expanding in all directions, filling up on that inhale. And then exhale, let it go out the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Really big breath, filling up all the way to the top, maybe even trying to take a little bit more air in. And now letting it go. Good. Closing the mouth here and breathing through your nose as best you can. Now, breathing through the nose, if you're congested at all or you feel restricted by breathing through the nose, you're welcome to breathe through your mouth as you need. But when and if possible, you're going to try to breathe in and out through your nose. So taking some deliberate breaths now in and out through the nose, or if through the mouth if you need. Sitting up nice and tall, letting the chest lift up, sitting with a sense of pride in your seat, shoulders away from the ears. Good. Then taking those hands and turning them palms down onto your thighs if they're not already, and gently sliding the hands forward. So maybe your fingertips come over your knees. Arms are as straight as you can make them. So we have this nice long lifted spine, long straight arms, rooted feet. Good. Keeping the arms as they are. We're just going to move the head and the neck now. So just be mindful here. If you have any osteoporosis or injury in the neck, you might stay with more of a gentle side to side turn, or you can join me now in taking the chin down and up. So deciding for yourself what movement is appropriate for you. And depending on the state of the neck, the best choice might be to simply keep the head upright and work to lengthen the neck. Otherwise, you're joining me here in lifting and lowering the chin. And we're just moving a subtle stretch from the front of the throat to the back of the neck, back and forth. Good. Next time the chin comes down, glide your chin over towards your left shoulder, and then bring it back into the center position and over towards your right shoulder, and then down and across towards the left shoulder, and down and across and towards the right shoulder. We'll do this a few more times. Now, of course, if letting the head fall forward like this is not good for your neck or spine, that's okay. Keep the head straight up and maybe turn instead from side to side. Good. Some of you, if the neck feels okay, the next time your chin comes to the right shoulder, you might lift your chin up, glide it across the ceiling and down to the left shoulder, and then across the chest, creating circle motions here for the head and the neck. Or you might stay with these half circle motions or with that side to side turning. Good. If you're circling your head, try circling the other way. Keep the arms long and straight. Fingertips maybe just gently grazing the kneecaps. Then bring your head back into center. So as the head comes forward into center, notice here if your nose is pointing straight ahead or if it's kind of angled up a little bit. Try to align the nose so it feels like it's pointing straight ahead of you. Good. Then from here, we're going to tilt the head towards the right. Just letting the right ear come closer to the right shoulder. Relax those shoulders down. Let them stay heavy and away from the ears. Then we'll bring the head back into center and let it tilt over to the left. And be attentive here. Sometimes as we start to tilt the head, the body wants to tilt with us. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips, that tall, proud lift in the spine. And again, head to center and over to the right. And to center and over to the left. And you might notice the head goes a little further one side than the other. That's okay, very normal. Good, let's bring the head back into center. And last time, let's go over to the right. And center and left. And bring the head into center. Really nice. With the hands, right touching those kneecaps, the arms are nice and straight. We're going to move from the throat down into the spine. So we're going to start by taking the spine back and forth, just like we did with the head. So we're doing our cat-cows here. We're going to take the belly forward, chest up, and then we're going to bring the chest down and the belly in. Then belly forward, chest up, chest down, and belly in. The head will move as well as it's attached to the spine here, attached to the neck. The shoulders might even move a little bit. The hips will rock as well. But we're focusing our motion through the spine. So really paying attention to moving your spine. So sometimes what I see is the head is moving a fair bit, but we're not actually moving the back. And we want to feel like our back is rounding and arcing. And again, depending on your spine, maybe your motion is really tiny. It's okay. Maybe for you, you're actually just working to sit up tall. That's beautiful. Otherwise, you're working to create that arc and round. Let's add in some conscious breathing here. So as the belly comes forward, the chest comes up, breathe in. Then as the chest comes down, the belly comes in, breathe out. Inhale to arc. Exhale to round. Keep those arms straight, fingertips on the kneecaps. Breathing and moving the spine. Getting that back moving. Everything in some form or way is connected to the spine. We want to free up that spine, get it moving. Good. A few more times like this. Good. Let's come back to sit up nice and tall. Keep those arms straight. Find that sense of lift and length through your spine. Nose again is pointing straight ahead. So we're not tilting the head up at all. The nose is pointing straight ahead. And we're going to take the spine and just start to slide it. So we're creating a little bit of a kind of sideways S curve in the spine as we slide the rib cage from one side to the other. So those who practice with me regularly know this is one of my favorites between cat-cow and this one. It's so good for the spine, and we're just gliding the rib cage from side to side. Now the motion I'm doing is pretty big, so yours might be a little bit smaller. That's great. That's okay. You're only moving to where it feels okay for you. Yeah, and you're working to go side to side. And maybe the head moves with it. So I find the head actually goes the opposite direction as the rib cage goes. So if you glide your spine to the left, the head goes to the right. And then if your spine goes to the right, the head goes to the left. Yeah. But of course, maybe you have your own rhythm. Arms are still straight, fingertips touching those knees. You've got this. Breathing nice and deep in and out here. Good. Especially on these cold winter days, the muscles of the body can be a little slower to get moving, to get blood flowing, to warm up. We're going to just take a few more motions here. Give that spine time to really loosen up. Good. Then we're going to add those motions together, creating a circle-like motion now with the rib cage. So forward with the rib cage to the right, back with the rib cage to the left, starting to circle. And even though we are focusing on the upper half of the torso here, you're going to feel some motion in the hips. But I don't want us to forget about this upper half. So it's not all hips. We want to feel motion kind of happening right in the center of the belly or the torso, above the belly. Yeah. Let your shoulders move. Let your head and neck move. And start to let this circle motion feel a bit more graceful, a bit more fluid. So not so distinctly in four parts, but instead in a nice, smooth circle. Good. And let's try that circle in the other direction. Good. Circling here. Nice. Let's take that circle and sink it into the hips. So the spine becomes a bit more straight. We're not moving so much from the rib cage. We're starting to circle the spine over top of the hips. Nice big circles here. This is where the elbows will start to bend and straighten. As you I like to think, I look for a feeling of the weight of my body rolling along the base of the hips on the chair. Yeah. Really good. Be gentle though with yourself. If this is painful at all for you, move back to that upper half, that upper body circle. Good. Let's try changing directions here. Take that same circle motion, go back the other way. Good. Nicely done. Let's come back into center now. Sitting again, nice and tall. Lift up, nice and proud through the chest. Release the arms to your sides. Let's come into Tadasana here. Seated Tadasana. Feet about hip distance apart. Palms open, shoulders back. Big, full breaths, gazing straight ahead. Really fill up the body with the breath. Good. From here, take the arms and sweep them forward like you're trying to scoop up the air in front of you. Take them forward and up just as high as is comfortable while keeping those pinky fingers facing each other. So they might want to kind of spill out. Keep the palms facing up. So you're just going as high as you can. Then it's like the arms dropped through the air and back. Good. Inhale, scoop forward and up. And then let them drop down and back. Keeping those pinky fingers on the insides. Inhale up and back. Good. Inhale up and back. Good. Now watch the hands here. They want to roll in. Let's really focus on turning the palms up. So rolling them kind of like you're trying to rotate your pinkies to face towards the ceiling. Not quite that dramatic, but something like that. Scooping forward, dropping down. Yeah, scooping forward, dropping down. Oh, we're getting into those shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Last one. Inhale and exhale. This time we're going to inhale and take both arms up again as high as you can. And then keep the hands there, turning the palms to face each other. So the arms can be anywhere along that track. It doesn't have to be right overhead if that's not comfortable for you. Palms are facing each other. Good. Soften the shoulders away from the ears and sit up a little bit taller. Lift up through the chest. You've got this. Good. We're going to slowly rotate the spine towards the right and then let the arms float down. So the left hand comes onto your right thigh. The right hand drapes maybe over the back of your chair, or you might rest your right hand on your right hip. Coming into your twist here. Again, notice where your nose is pointing. Does it seem like it's tucking down or up? Can you align it to be a little bit more straight ahead? And then breathing deep. Big full body breaths here. But with your inhale, take both arms up, big sweeping motion up overhead. Again, palms facing each other in the center. Soften the shoulders down the back and sit up a little bit taller, lifting through the chest. Turning the rib cage towards the left now. Let the right hand drape down onto the left thigh. The left arm might come over the back of the chair or rest on your hip. Maintain a presence and awareness in the spine. So notice what your spine is doing here. Beautiful. Now inhale, arms up. Again, sweep them up through center, palms facing each other. And then we're going to imagine here that you're holding onto like a basketball. So a pretty decent sized ball here. You're holding that in between your hands and starting to fold forward. And you don't want to drop the ball. So keep the arms up, holding that ball. Oh, yes. Cheryl, if you have a ball, use one. That's a great idea. Otherwise, imagining you have a ball there and you're folding forward and that ball's going to want to drop down. Don't let it drop down. You've got this. Good breath here. Good. Then let that ball go. You can let it go. Let the hands come down the legs. Let the spine round. Be aware of your head and your heart here. If you need to keep your head above your heart for blood pressure, please do. Otherwise, letting your head fold forward, letting your arms drape down towards your feet. Rounding through the back. Good. Then sliding the hands up the legs. Inhale. Gliding the arms up, right up overhead. Big breath in. Find that imaginary ball, or maybe a real ball if you have one. Soften those shoulders and fold again, nice and slow forward without dropping the ball. Haha, keep the ball lifted. You've got it. So don't let the arms drop out. Don't let the hands drop out. As you fold, you're going to feel the pull of gravity on the arms. So this is how we're working strength in the back and the arms. You've got this. One more breath like this, then softly release your ball. Let your hands slide down your legs. Come into that forward fold. Big breaths here. Gliding the hands up the legs, slowly rising up, reaching up. Again, as high as you comfortably can, finding that imaginary ball. And now we're going to imagine that ball's maybe a little smaller. So maybe like a volleyball or like one of those small little blue fitness balls. They're great, but it's a little bit smaller. This brings the arms a bit closer together. And once more, last time I promise, we're going to fold forward. Do not drop your ball. Keep it lifted. Good. Breathing here though. Even though we're holding a ball, we're never holding our breath. Good. You've got this. Oh, good work, everybody. Let's gently place the ball down. Let the arms come down the legs and fold forward. Sliding the hands up the legs now, returning to your tall seat. Hands can come onto your hips, shoulders back. Good. We're going to do a little bit more for the legs, and then we'll move into the arms and the hands. So from here, let's take the right leg forward, right heel on the floor, And you're making that right leg as straight as you can comfortably bring it. Then pointing and flexing your right foot a few times, getting some motion going on in the ankle. Good. And then rotating that ankle. Good. So like you're drawing circles with the toes. And then rotate the ankle the other way. Good. Flexing that right foot back now, shining the sole of your foot away from you, like your heel, the base of your heel was trying to reach further away than the toes. And we're just going to hold it for a moment, let it stretch out that leg, and then place the right foot on the floor and extend the left leg out, pointing and flexing that left foot. Good. Sitting tall, so not allowing yourself to slouch here, really lifting up through the spine. Let's start to draw those circles with the left foot. Let's take those circles the other way. And again, as you flex your left foot back towards you, imagine pressing your left heel out in front. So the toes are coming back and the heel's going forward. Big breath. All right, then take your left foot, place it back down onto the floor, and bring your hands onto your lap, sitting tall. Yeah, we've got some blood flowing, some muscles moving. So we're going to work down the arms now into the hands. And we did a little bit for the shoulders. So we're going to move a bit down into the elbows. So taking the arms straight out in front, as straight as you can, turn your palms up towards the ceiling again. So if you were to have your palms down, your thumbs face each other, then you rotate the thumbs up and out and the fingertips, the pinky fingers, face each other. Good. Then from here, we're going to bring those hands in like you were going to tap your shoulders. You may touch your shoulders, you may not. It's okay. We don't have to touch your shoulders, but it's as if you were going to tap the tops of your shoulders. And then you bring the hands back out. We're bending right in the elbows, nice and straight. And then we bend. And then we straighten. And then we bend. Yeah. It's a little bit like directing a plane in, right? Like this way. Yeah. Good. Nice big motions in the arms. Good. Next time you have your hands coming in towards your shoulders, keep them there. Again, they might touch, they might not. So don't worry about the touching part, but try to keep your elbows bent as you open your elbows out to the sides. And then just like we were paying attention to where our nose was and what direction our nose was pointing, notice your elbows, and you're going to start to draw some circles with your elbows out to the sides. All right. Now, as we get into this work with shoulders, I want us to really be attentive to tension in the shoulders. So big breaths here. Try to let loose some of that tension. Oh, good. Let's try taking those elbows in the opposite direction. So we're not, taking those shoulders up to the ears and trying to do tiny little circles. Shoulders are dropped and relaxed. The elbows are circling and there's movement. And we're letting tension flow out of the shoulders, letting it go. Good. Let's bring those elbows now in together like they were going to touch in front. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. That's okay. Then take the elbows again out nice and wide. And let's bring them in. And then nice and wide. Yes, good. Couple more times. In and out. And in. Last one here, we'll go nice and wide out. And then release your hands down onto your thighs. Okay, we're going to move into the hands now. And I think I'm going to come closer to the camera for this so we can see a little bit more of what we're doing with our hands. Okay, so we're sitting in the chair. You're sitting in the chair. I'm a little closer. And you have your hands out in front of you. So you can keep your elbows bent. You don't have to have straight arms. Let the elbows be bent. Let the shoulders again be relaxed because we're going to move down into the wrists and the elbows. Now, if like me, you're wearing a watch or something on your wrist, it's a good time to remove it so your wrists have full motion. And we're going to start first just with the hands as they are, palms up, and simply curling fingers in and out. Okay, just gently curling fingers in and out. And your thumbs might come on top, or they might go underneath. Yeah. Simply curling fingers in and out. And play around a little bit here. Maybe you put your elbows on your thumbs underneath the fingers first, and then you try over top. And as you fan the fingers out, really reach through all the fingers and then curl all of them in. So that's quite an energetic movement through the hands out and curling in. Good. A few more like that. Good. One more. Good. As you bring your fingers in, now this time bring the fingertips to touch the thumbs, and we'll start to circle the wrists. So these little fingertips, it's like you're trying to draw circles in the air with your fingertips. There's a little bit of snap, crackle, and pop in my wrists. Maybe there's some in yours. That's okay. Good. Notice though, as you're circling your wrists, that you're not going into the elbows. We're not circling from the elbows. The elbows are still, and we're circling just the wrist. Good. Let's try circling the other way. How's your breathing here? Can you keep your breathing full, mindful? Good. All right. Then we're going to take the right hand and place it forward, palm forward, fingertips up. Take the left hand over top with the palms touching, and you're going to gently pull back on the right hand. And be gentle depending on what's going on in your wrists, your fingers. You don't want to cause any pain, but we are starting to stretch the underneath the wrist. To help with that, you could work to straighten that right arm a little bit, like you're trying to push it forward as you pull back. But again, that's secondary. You don't have to, just working where you are. Soften those shoulders, soften the jaw. Oh, keep the breath moving. If you want to let out some sighs, this a good time to do that. We hold lots of tension in our shoulders, arms, hands, wrists. Good. Let's release that right hand, and we're going to do the left hand. Palm forward. Yeah, you might wiggle a little bit, or let the shoulders go. Then bring the right hand over the left hand and draw back. Maybe you're starting to lengthen that left arm forward, so you're pushing gently through the base of the palm here. Maybe. Just work where you're at. Meet whatever sensation you have with a really deep breath, a really full breath. Good. Then let's release the left hand. Come back to your right hand. Use your left thumb and start to massage gently in the joint of your wrist. So, or the joints, plural, of the wrist, singular. Yeah. And just gently massaging in there. And then working your way up, massaging into the right hand and up the fingers. And then let's do the same with the left hand. Take your right thumb and start at the wrists and and start to massage in the joint of the wrist. There's lots of little bones and things there. So be gentle, but also massage it. Feel some little bit of stretching in the muscles there, and then work up into the hands. Into the hands, the left hand, working up into the fingers. Okay. And then we're going to take the right hand, we're going to come back into the right hand, and we're going to go finger by finger here. So we're going to take the right pinky finger using the left hand and also gently stretching that right pinky finger back. Now I have some pretty hypermobile joints here, so don't go by the degree of my finger. You're just ever so gently drawing that right pinky finger back, softening the shoulders, sitting up tall and breathing. Good. Let's take the second thing, the ring finger here. And you might use a couple fingers of your left hand just to gently draw that ring finger back. And then let's move to the index finger. We're going to hold that back with the left hand. We're doing right index finger gently, and you might start to feel this down and through the other fingers. Good. Notice too what's happening in your jaw and your throat. Are we clenching? Are we restricting? Yeah, it's very common. Let's let go of some big sighs. Let's see if we can keep some tension out of the throat and the jaw. Okay, let's go to the pointer finger, the first finger here. Just gently draw it back. So especially if you do a lot of hand work. So if you work on a computer, if you do a lot of crafting, usually things like knitting, crocheting, sewing, the hands work very kind of tightly. Cooking even, a lot of that works very tightly. So these motions are so good to open up the hands. Okay, let's do last one, thumb. So take the hand and just ever so gently draw that left thumb back. Sorry, right thumb back. We're working on the right hand. I apologize. Using your left hand, drawing your right thumb back. Okay, let's go through the left hand now. We start with the pinky finger. So using your right hand, gently draw your left pinky finger back. And these sort of simple practices are a great opportunity to consciously release tension, to move the breath, to stay kind of aware, awake. Good. Let's move into that ring finger, gently stretching that ring finger back. Good. Then let's go into the index finger, gently drawing that index finger back. Stay seated nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears, breath is moving. Just be really gentle here. You don't even have to go very far, but a little bit of stretch is really helpful. Let's do the first finger now. We're going to draw the first finger back. Rest those shoulders. Good. Stay present with your breath. Last one here, we're going to go to the thumb and gently draw the thumb back. Now the thumb I don't find moves very far, that's fine, but a little bit of pressure there will help stretch across the palm. Okay, so now we're going to come in. We did a little bit of this part in our dance class, but I have found it so helpful. I've been working on it, on moving elbows, wrists. So we have moving the elbow, wrist, and fingers independently of each other. So this is so good to do. So we're going to start with the right arm, right hand, right elbow is bent, and we're going to take a hold of the right hand with the left hand. So you're holding across all of the knuckles. So they're immobile. You can't move them. And we're going to just simply start by going up and down with the elbow, which is going to move, you'll notice, the wrist. So the elbow goes up and down. And I'm doing a big motion. This might be a little tinier. That's okay. And you'll feel it in your shoulder. Yeah, good. Good. And then we'll use the hand in the opposite direction. So as the elbow goes up, the hand goes down. As the elbow goes down, the hand goes up. Good. So we're accentuating the motion of the wrist. Yeah. And it's all coordination. So if it feels a little awkward, it's okay. We don't typically move like this, so it might feel a little awkward. Nice. All right. Bring everything back to center. Take that left hand, slide it down a little bit So this first row of knuckles is free. Good. Elbow up. And then, sorry, now I forgot. So we want these knuckles to bend. Yeah. So we bend these knuckles as we hold everything else straight. And then the wrist goes down. Elbow goes up. Then let's do elbow down, wrist up, and fingers up. So we take those knuckles the other way. Then we knuckles up, wrist down, elbow up. Elbow down, wrist up, knuckles down. So that means the fingers go up. We can use our left hand to help with that a little bit. Good. So maybe what we'll do actually here is just take the fingers and go up and down with the fingers right in the knuckles. Yeah. Good. And then you might kind of feel that wave into the elbow. Maybe you stay with the movement of the fingers. That's okay. Be gentle there. Good. Let's move the hand down so we free up that second row of knuckles here. And we're going to wave through those knuckles. So you're holding them, holding the tips of the fingers still, and we're going to wave through those knuckles. Woo, this is good for the shoulders. So let those elbows come down. If the shoulders are getting fatigued, let your elbows kind of come down a little bit. Good. All right, and then we're going to let the fingers free, and we're going to wave through the fingers. So I like to keep my left hand there like a little wall, and you're going to kind of sort of think like gracing the wall with the tips of your fingers as you wave them across. So you're thinking of bending all of those knuckles and then fanning out. Yeah. So it's not technically a yoga posture, but there are all sorts of hand gestures, hand movements in yoga to help with this sort of dexterity with our hands. Good. Let's switch arms. Let's actually shake that out. Oh, thank you, arms. We're hard. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Okay, last arm. I promise. Last arm like this. Left arm. Holding across the whole hand with your right hand. So all the fingers are gripped together. Arm is straight with the elbow bent. And we're just going to take the elbow up and down. Just start with that elbow up and down. Elbow up and down. Good. How's your breathing here? Good. Good. And then, and the elbow goes up, take the hand down. So now we're using this hand. As the elbow is down, the hand goes up. So we're accentuating the motion of the wrist. Good. Oh, soften those shoulders. Soften the jaw. You might even, vibrate those lips. Loosen the face. Good. All right, let's now bring the hand out. Slide your right hand down to free up the first row of knuckles and start to bend the knuckles and then straighten. So you can use your hand to help bend those knuckles and straighten. Yeah. Up and down, bend, straighten. Yeah. Good. And then you might start to wave through the arm. Good. Trying to move everything from that first row of knuckles to the wrist, to the elbow, to the shoulder. Wave. Yeah, good. All right, let's move down. Second row of knuckles, holding on to the tips of the fingers here. We're going to just wave into the hand, just the hand. Moving all of those knuckles. Oh boy, this is such good work. Whew. Then we might let that wave travel. A little like breakdancing. If you remember the 80s, the breakdancing moves, maybe it's a little like that. Yeah, good. All right, last one. We're going to just do the hand. So take your right hand like a little wall. Your left fingertips are touching the wall. And then it's like you're going to grace the wall, but the hand is becoming really fluid. And I noticed for me, this hand is a little more challenging to make fluid. It feels a little bit more awkward. And that's okay. It's very normal to have one side that moves more gracefully than the other. Yeah, one of the tricks I've learned is to keep it really small. So not try to get it really big, but really, really small motion, and you can get into those fingers. Good, keep doing that. I'm gonna head back to my chair. Good, and then bring the palms together now and gently press your palms together, elbows out to the side. press, 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 press. Good. If it's available to you, try interlacing your fingers here. Then turn the palms out and gently press the palms out. Inhale, take the arms up and release the hands out to the side and down. Let's take the hands around behind, maybe holding onto the sides of the back of the chair or hands on the hips. Shoulders on the back, lift the chest up and gently start to straighten your arms if you have a hold of the sides of the back of the chair. If your hands are on your hips, then just keep them there, lifting the chest up, shoulders back. Beautiful. You're going to release that left arm now and bring the left elbow down onto your left thigh, left hand across to your right thigh. And then you can release your right hand wherever it is and start to take some big sweeping circles with that right arm. And if you have any concerns with the arm or shoulder here, you could keep your right hand on your hip and simply gently circle the shoulder. That works too. If you're taking circles here, let's change directions, circle the other way. Good work. Good. Then with that right arm extended as high as you can comfortably bring it, or maybe it's staying on your hip, that's fine. You're going to lift straight up. So now you have your left hand on your right thigh and your left elbow's lifted and your right arm is extended. Good. Feel this sort of cross or twist through the body. And then we're going to release that right hand down onto the left knee. You can slide your left hand forward a little bit so it's holding the right knee. We've crossed our arms now, holding opposite knee with hands. Good. Keep that and let's exhale and round the back. Curl in. Inhale, lift the chest up, look up. Exhale, rounding in. Inhale, lifting up. Good. Last one, let's round in. And then inhale, sitting tall, arms at your sides, Tadasana. Right. Let's again bring the hands around in front, palms together, pressing them together in front of the chest, elbows lifted. Press, press, press those palms together. Good. Then interlace those fingers again. If you remember that first way you interlaced, maybe you try doing it in the opposite direction. So the opposite pinky is in front. Then press the palms forward, nice and gentle here. Inhale, arms up as high as you can comfortably bring them, and then release the arms out to the sides. Again, they might go around behind you, or your hands might rest on your hips. Good. Shoulders back wherever you are. Hug those shoulder blades together on your back. Lift your chest up. Maybe lift your chin up. If your hands are on the back of the chair, you might even work to press into the chair with your hands. Good. Then you're going to release your right arm. Bring your right elbow down onto your right thigh and the hand across to rest on your left thigh. Then you can take some big circles with that left arm. Meet all of this activity, all this energy with breathing. Deep breath. Let's circle the other way. Good. And then the next time that left arm swings around to maybe be up overhead or as high as is comfortable for you, pause there. And then as if you were being pulled up through the left side of your body, inhale and rise up, keeping the right hand on the left thigh, but letting your right elbow lift. So you have this little bit of a cross here. Good, nice and tall. And then take the left hand and bring it down and over onto your right knee. The right hand is resting onto the left knee. Again, we're crossing arms, holding opposite knee with hands. Take your next exhale and round back in. Really puff up the back of the body. Then inhale, lift the chest through the shoulders, lift the chin, look up. Exhale, rounding in. Inhale, lifting through and up. Exhale, rounding in. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale, rise up, release those arms to your side. Come back into your seated Tadasana, sitting tall, breathing deep. Good. For those of you who are comfortable coming to the floor and you'd like to take your Savasana on the ground, I'll invite you now to bring yourself to the floor if you like, but you don't have to, right? You're welcome to also stay in your chair. Good. If you are coming to the floor, you could grab your strap and keep it close by if you happen to have a strap. But if you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. I'll give you an option. For those of you sitting in your chair, stay seated just as you are and take a hold of your strap. Good. And really for a strap today, we don't need a very big one. I have a very big one, but you don't need one. Just something that's probably about the width of your shoulders at least. And so it could be a towel. If you're coming to the floor, come to lay down onto the ground, bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. So your back is against the ground. Okay. And actually, yeah, if you're in the chair, you could come to sit to the back of your chair. Let's do that. That will be nice for the spine. You've got some support behind you. Now you notice I use bricks here underneath my feet. So make sure that your feet are firm on some sort of support. Okay, and then wherever you are here, you're going to take a hold of your strap and hold one end of each strap or one side of each strap in each hand. And again, we're just going to bring the strap or the grip, sorry, about as wide as your shoulders, maybe a little bit wider, especially if you do have some tightness in your shoulders. Okay, now if you're lying on the floor, keep your shoulders and your shoulder blades on the ground as you extend your arms up to the ceiling. If you're sitting in the chair, you're extending your arms straight out in front of you. And those in the chair, you're going to have to be a bit more attentive unless you have a really tall backed chair of keeping your shoulders back. Good. Now from here, grip your strap nice and strong and start to pull on the strap. So it's like you're pulling, trying to stretch the strap as wide as you can. Now, maybe you're using a stretchy strap. Maybe you're not. That's okay. But we want that grip, that tight grip, and pulling with the shoulders back. Good. And then we might start to lift the arms. So if you're on the floor, you might be starting to move your arms over your head towards the ground behind you. If you are in the chair, you might start to move the arms up towards the ceiling a little. But watch those shoulders, keep them back. And tuck the belly in just a little. So we're pressing the spine down or back. So if you're in the chair, press your spine back. And if you're on the floor, press your spine down a little. But keep that effort of pulling the strap apart. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. Oh yeah, don't forget to breathe. Good work. Now slowly, just as slow as you lifted, slowly start to lower back to that starting position. Good. Then release your strap off to the side. If you're on the floor, place your hands on your belly. If you're in the chair, let your hands rest palms up in your on your thighs. Close your eyes for a minute wherever you are and consciously soften your shoulders. Consciously choose, ask your body here to soften, to release the effort, the tension. And then if you're on the floor, you might straighten your legs out onto the ground into Savasana, or you might keep your knees bent. If you're in the chair, make sure you're all the way back. If you're on the floor, your arms can rest out to your sides with your palms up. And if you're in the chair, rest your palms up on your thighs. And then let's go ahead and just gently curl and uncurl the fingers a few times. So not Not a lot of effort here, but just a little wiggle even in the hands. Oh, and maybe saying to your hands, thank you so much, hands, for everything you just did. It is now time to relax and release the hands. Let the hands get heavy. And then bringing that same awareness into your arms, into your elbows, and say, thank you, elbows. Thank you, arms, for everything you just did. It's now time to relax, to rest. Let your arms get heavy. Let them relax and rest. And then you come to the neck and shoulders and you say, oh, thank you, shoulders. Thank you, neck. You did lots already today. It's now time to relax, to let go. You might come down into your right leg and say, hey, right leg, thank you so much. Hey, left leg, thank you so much. And now it's time for the legs to relax, to let go. I'm going to bring a little awareness into the hips. Say, thank you, hips. And it's now time to relax. Thank you, body. Thank you so much, body, for everything you're trying to do for me. It's now time to relax and let go. And you say thank you to yourself. Thank you, self, for doing all that I can for myself today. And look and take care of myself so that I am better able to take care of my community and those around me. Thank you, self. It's now time to rest and relax. I'll take a few moments here in Savasana, and I'll bring us back when it's time to close the practice. allowing your body to continue to rest, if only just for a few more moments. Of course, you're welcome to stay resting as long as you like. But as you hear my voice, allow that to draw your thoughts and awareness back to here and now, back to this body, sitting here or maybe lying here, back to this room, this place, this time. And see if you can arrive back here with a little bit of lightness and curiosity. So often we bring with us a story about this present moment, of what it will hold, what it is made of, what it will offer. And instead, I encourage you to arrive into the moments of your life with some curiosity, with a little unknowing, and some openness to what may come. Feeling your breath moving. You might start to introduce now some motion back into the body. Maybe back into those fingers, back into the toes. Maybe you gently turn your head from one side to the other. If you're lying on the floor, I'll invite you now to roll over onto one side, curling your knees in. If you're sitting in the chair, you might take your hands and slide them down the legs and fold forward for a moment. Maybe holding underneath the legs for a little squeeze, a little hug, or just resting your elbows on your thighs for a moment and breathing. Then take your time and make your way up to come to sit up either on the floor or in your chair. If you are in the chair, you could push any props you're using off to the side and sit forward in your chair again. If you're on the floor, you could sit cross-legged or with your legs straight out in front. And once you're in your seat, bring your palms back together. So the palms are touching. They might feel quite warm now as we've really got the blood flowing and energy moving in the hands. With the palms touching, close your eyes once more and bow the head down towards the heart. And take this gift of an opportunity, this gift of a moment, to set an intention for yourself for your day. Set a quality of yourself that you would like to experience more of in the day ahead. Reminding us of our power of choice, that we have always an opportunity for choice. Thank you so much for coming to practice today, for maybe trying something new, for moving with and through your body. Thank you all so much. Namaste.